Okay, so the still photo I'm going to post at the beginning is 20 minutes ago. And this is where we're at now. So less than a half hour, 30,000 bees entered through that hole. There is some confusion on the right side by the vent, likely because of the vent and because I think one or two can get in at a time. But they'll figure it out at the entrance. We have some fanning going on, which tells them this is where you're supposed to enter at. I'm going to get some video of the other side there to show you the confusion. But this is definitely what you want to see. No hesitancy, just march right in an impressive amount through two intersecting 1-inch holes. Pretty crazy. But they get the message. Once they get the message, it's pretty clear. So then we pause, go to the other side. So here's our confusion at the vent. Not much at all. But those other bees wouldn't have gone in there if the queen wasn't already in there. There would be mass chaos if something happened to her on the way. Or if she was in this confusion ball here, those other ones probably wouldn't have gone in. Or at least not in the volume that they did in 20 minutes. So I'm not concerned about this spot right here. I mean, there's always some concern, but I'm not concerned too much about this spot. They'll figure it out with the venting or fanning at the entrance. Giving off the pheromone, letting them know, hey, you're trying to go in the wrong spot. But one or two can get in at a time over here anyways, so they'll figure it out. But definitely a good sign. I'll pause for a second again. All right, so I'm going to take a minute to talk about trap size. That comes up in our group questions a lot. So basically this is close to 2 5-frame nukes stacked on top of each other, pretty close to 40 liters. Very common design, but keep in mind that there's only 5 frames, so 3/4 of that bottom is just an open void. Your trap size will help you if it's larger in catching swarms because they have to fit, especially if you have plastic frames inside there for those 5 frames, and this was just a 5-frame nuke box. That's not going to fit. What showed up today is not going to fit, and they'll determine that at scouting. And I'm not going to say they're not going to try, but at scouting you could be eliminated by the size of your trap. So if you are going to run a 5-frame nuke, put a nuke underneath it with a solid bottom that does not have frames. 5 frames in the top, 5 frames missing in the bottom gives that open void. When they go scouting, they fly inside. I've mentioned it before. They flap their wings. They feel for the vibration. They listen for the echo. They need a void for these big swarms. This is a good-sized swarm. I don't think this is a cast-off swarm. I think this is a primary swarm, so I believe it's a mated queen, which is awesome. She's going to be able to start laying right away once they fatten her up. And you have to take that in consideration when you're building your traps or setting your traps. Another option, if you're going to run a hive body, run a hive body with your full 10 frames. Always use the right amount of frames or you're making a cutout box, which is a big mess depending on when you can move them or when you finally can get to them. If you're going to keep them in that hive body, you want your comb to be drawn. I apologize for the airplane. Again, this is city limits though. So if you're going to run a hive body, run the 10 frames in the top, standard deep, and then put a shallow or a medium underneath it or some type of at least a 4-inch shim, 4 to 6 inch shim on the bottom to make that void. So when they do pile in, they can festoon, hang, and rest. I'm sure it's been a pretty traumatic couple of days, you know, not being in a home, hanging in a bush or a tree somewhere. So give them that room, let them get in there, and they will be hanging. I would imagine if this was see-through, that would be pretty cool. That the bottom 3/4, that empty void, is nothing but hanging bees. that ball on the outside is now a ball on the inside, spread out over 5 frames. And they gotta have the room. I'm not discouraging you from trying to catch in a nuke box. I'm just saying that you're limiting your success rate, and you're certainly limiting the size of the swarm that will move in. So keep that all into consideration. Have some type of a void on the bottom. And as I've mentioned many times, I run starter strips, which makes even more of a void, which makes more of an echo, which makes more of a vibration on this box when they're scouting it. So this is all good news. Like I said, 20 minutes later, they're all in. A little confusion on the side, but very happy with this so far. And considering that I am less concerned that it's a virgin queen, I will probably move this trap tonight and go through my normal hiving of a swarm procedures, which I have previous videos on, and maybe I'll make another one. So trap 6, success. Thanks for watching.